不能听到我说话吗？
哎，哦，听得到。
啊，可以。好卡。Okay. How many people are joining this meeting? Let's see. So you guys can see my screen, right? Yeah, sure. So, okay. Can we start now, or we're waiting for some others?
Hey, Guido, can you just do a recording for this training as well?
Recording. How to do that? Let me check. Let's see. I don't know how to record. 哎，这个怎么设置录像啊？
我也不知道。
啊，这个，let me check。电脑好卡。
宇哥，你稍等一下，我用电脑登上去看看。可以干嘛？哦，嘿 ，Evan， yeah。Okay, it's fine.
Let me check. 操，这个怎么玩啊？没玩过。哎，你能说话了吗？
对，可以开始了，就是他们有 recording。
先他们会录吧？那我先不管了。啊，我正在录制嘛，已经。Okay. So guys, this is a training from HQ, internal training from HQ about the integrated energy storage system. So the name is Solis Flexi-One. So it's an all-in-one like hybrid inverter. Let me go to. Okay, so this will include like 5 sections of the presentation. So first, it's a company introduction. So we'll quickly jump this. This is for the current Solis energy storage products that we have. So we have the single phase low volt 48 volt low voltage hybrid inverter, and then we have 3-phase 5 to 10K high voltage hybrid inverter, and then also a hybrid AC coupled hybrid inverter, not hybrid, so AC coupled energy storage inverter 3K, and then this one is the all-in-one hybrid, which we call the Solis Flexi-One, and the model name is S5. S5 means the Solis 5th generation, and EH means energy storage hybrid, and 1P is single phase, and 4.6 to 6K, and L and UN. I'm not sure what L and UN means, but later we can provide you some explanation on the new model name definition. Okay, the second part is about the product introduction. So a traditional energy storage system will include the hybrid inverter, and then you will also have some external battery or AC breaker, or you will have the isolators for the backup port. So all those like switch gears will be on externally, and then you need to design the cables based on the inverter and the battery. I use a long battery cable to connect both of them, and also the CAN cable. But now we promote this integrated energy storage system. So the inverting units are already inside this cover, on top of the cover, and then all the switch gears, the breaker, the switch, DC switch, AC switch, and also the battery switch has already been integrated inside the cover. And then we can easily install the battery, because we just put the battery into the bottom of this cover, and then all the cables are already pre-made inside the cover. So just need to put the battery inside and then connect the cable. So you don't need to do any extra design for how to install the battery or how to run the cables between those two. And here are the new models that we have. Well, the series name is Solis Flexi-One, and then it will include like 3 parts. So the first one is Solis Flexi MIDI. So it's the upper part of the inverter and the battery cover. So inside this Solis Flexi MIDI, there are 2 parts. The top parts are the inverter, and then the bottom part is to place the battery inside. And then we will have 4.6 and 5K and 6K. And for this Solis Flexi MIDI, it can include up to 10 kilowatt hours of the battery. And then another one is the Solis Flexi Maxi. So it's composed of 2 parts. The top part is the same as the Solis Flexi MIDI, and then the bottom part is a battery expansion box. So to let customers to install more battery capacities together with the hybrid inverter. So with this top part and the bottom part, we can do up to 20 kilowatt hours of battery capacity. And then the next one is a battery expansion box. So the left units and the right units, they just combine together to create this center Solis Flexi Maxi. And so we can offer 2 solutions. So one is we can only provide the inverter, so the inverter and also the bottom, the battery cover, and then customers can purchase their own batteries, purchase their own compatible batteries separately from the battery manufacturer, either Pylon or BYD or LG. So they can purchase the battery by themselves. And another solution is that we can provide the all-in-one solution. So we can provide the inverter, the battery cover, and together with the Pylon Tech battery. So we're just currently working with Pylon to provide an integrated like all-in-one solution. So if customer want Pylon Tech, then we can provide the all-in-one solution. If customer want to use other battery like BYD, LG, or some other batteries, then we can provide only the inverter, and then customer purchase the battery like separately. And here is the specification about the new all-in-one hybrid. It's pretty much the same as our RHI 326K 5G inverter, but we have the max input current increased to 15 amp. So previously we only have 11 amp, but now we have 15 amp to support the large modules. And it supports a low voltage battery, 48 volt, and the max charging discharging power is 5 kilowatt, and 100 amp on the charge discharge current. Then also the backup port. So it's the same as our RHI single phase hybrid inverter. So we have 5 kilowatt of backup power. And then it will support like the max output power of 6 kilowatt for 30 seconds and 7 kilowatt for 10 seconds. So it can support some like inductive loads with a very large startup current. And the backup switching time is less than 20 milliseconds, which is the same as our RHI single phase 5G. And the rest part is pretty much the same. On AC side, AC grid side, it's a 4.6 or 5 or 6. So 3 models we have. And about the dimension, so now one thing that we normally ship the products like this. So Solis Flexi-MIDI, so we can sell these units like separately to customer, or we can sold the expansion box together with the Flexi-MIDI. So they are in 2 package, one package for the Flexi-MIDI and one package for the expansion box. Then they are the same as the Solis Flexi-Maxi. So even if customer order the Solis Flexi-Maxi, the taller one, we still ship them like as 2 parts, 2 box, 2 package, one for this and one for this. So you can see we have package dimension only for Solis Flexi-MIDI and the expansion box. And for the ingress protection, it's IP54, and noise emission is around like 45 dB. And it will include all the COM, DRM, and RS-485, and also dry contact. And also there will be a integrated Bluetooth device that can be used for near field control on site to do the commissioning and settings. Because this device doesn't have LCD, so we need that. And this is some like selling points for the Flexi-One series all-in-one hybrid. So because most of other competitors who manufacture the all-in-one hybrid, they only support one battery. They only choose to be compatible with one battery. But in our solution, we are compatible with many battery manufacturer, so Pilot, LG, BYD, or something else. So that is one of our advantage. We can support more battery. And then another is quick installation. So this unit is very easy to install. So pretty much around like 15 minutes, we can finish the installation of this unit. Just install the battery and connect the pre-made cables into the battery, and then close the door. It will be fine. And the maximum battery capacity can be up to 20 kilowatts. Depends on different battery modules. So we will have a table later to show the options for the battery. And another is we will have a built-in distribution block. So that will include all the switch gears, and also we include a bypass switch. So bypass switch means, for example, if customer want to like do some maintenance for the inverter, or want to replace the inverting core, then they can just switch the bypass switch to the grade, and then the backup loads will be supported by the grade, and then they can take the inverting units out of the inverter. So this will not affect the normal operation of their loads on the backup board. And high performance, so 20 milliseconds of the switching time, and output up to 6 kilowatt for the 6K model. And for the PV inputs can be very high. Yeah, that pretty much the same. And then yeah, here the integrated backup bypass switch. So this is also one advantage compared with others. And integrated AFCI function, and integrated PV, grid, and battery switches. So all the breakers are integrated in the on the side of the inverter. And we have dual battery protection. So we have a battery fuse and also battery breaker to protect the battery. And for other functions, like we have integrated Bluetooth, which supports a near field app control by using the Solis Cloud, I think, Solis Cloud app. And we have multiple working modes to maximize self-consumption. So one thing to say that the inverting unit is exactly the same as the one that we have on the RHI single-phase hybrid, but it's just a RHI plus the battery cover. And we have the EMS function to improve the battery reliability, and also the 24-hour system monitoring. It's a hybrid system, so it's always powered up, and the monitoring comes through the Solis Cloud. And the Solis Cloud also supports the remote control and firmware upgrade, like remotely. Then there are some selling points again. So compared with like traditional all-in-one hybrid or energy storage system, so they need those breakers, the DC switch for the PV, and the battery breaker for the battery, and AC breaker for the AC grid side or the AC backup side. And now we have all those breakers integrated inside the our new Solis Flexi-One series all-in-one hybrid. So they're all integrated inside. And the battery cabinet is used to place the battery. So all the cables are already pre-made inside the cover, and they just need to use the cable to connect to the battery, and then to save a lot of installation time. And the whole system will only require around 0.5 cubic meters for installation volume, so which is much smaller compared with the traditional inverter plus the battery configuration. And then this is about the 15 minutes of installation time. So if you only install this Flexi MIDI, the top part of the inverter, you just need around like 15 minutes of installation time. And in the future, we will take a video about that to show how quickly that we can do that. And compared with so we have the integrated configuration, and some other competitors may have the power up configuration. So they have the battery stack up like a very long. And then compared with that, ours are ground standing installation, are very simple installation steps. And the other competitor with power up configuration, they need to do like each module's fastening. They need to connect maybe fix the screws and do the cable connection between those. So it will take a lot of time to do the installation. And for our device, we have a lower overall height with decent operating viewing angle. So you don't need to like head up to go check their cable connection or something like that. And we have a smaller inverting block. So it's a very small. If you open this cover, you will see a very small part of the space is the inverting block, and the rest part are all for the battery. So you have a very large battery installation space to increase the large battery capacity. Okay, and another is we can match different types of battery. So I think you can see that all the batteries that were compatible in our RHI single-phase hybrid inverter, we should be also compatible in this all-in-one hybrid. So they're pretty much the same. So they will support as well. So we can offer the very flexible options for customers, while the other competitors may only be compatible with one battery and already integrating their battery cover. And here is the battery matching list. So so this table is like this. For example, if you have Pylontech US 2000 and you work with the Flexi MIDI, so you can install up to 3 pieces of the battery. So you can have the battery capacity from 2.4 kilowatt hours to 7.2 kilowatt hours. And max you can do 10 kilowatt hours, but you need to use the user energy. So you need to do 2 pieces of the user energy or 1 pieces of LG Chem RSU 10. And for the Flexi Maxi, so together with the expansion box, so you can do up to 20 kilowatt hours. So you need 4 pieces of the user energy, and then you can do up to 20 kilowatt hours. And this is expansion box. So how many battery capacity this expansion box can provide. Yeah, this is also an advantage. So we can do up to 20 kilowatt hours if you use the user energy battery. So that will be, I think that will be enough for most of the residential consumptions. And another is the integrated backup bypass switch. So for example, you want to replace the inverting unit for normal system. You will also lead to the outage on the backup loads because your backup loads are directly connected to the device. And now we have an integrated bypass switch here. So you can switch the backup loads to be supplied by the grid. And then you can take out the inverting units of this device without affecting the normal operation of the backup load. And this is the backup ports capability. So you have 20 milliseconds of the switching time, switching between the grid connected to off-grid condition. And then we can support up to 5 kilowatt loads on the backup port. And for the monitoring, so we can do local monitoring through the Bluetooth. So it's like you do the on-site commissioning by using the Bluetooth device and also with our Solis Cloud app. And then you can also connect the Wi-Fi stick or GPRS stick to do the remote monitoring, just like a normal hybrid inverter or PV inverter. And for the safety and the reliability, so this device is powered by 3 power supplies. So you can do AC power and PV power and battery power. So even if two of those lost, your device will still be powered up. And then separate cabinet. So for this Solis Flexi MIDI, so the top part is the inverting unit and the bottom part is the battery cover. So between those, they have different separated cabinets. So this will prevent from any potential damage, and to just separate the inverter and the battery. And artful detection, this is the normal function that we have for our PV inverters and also other hybrid inverters. And decent thermal management. Yeah, so we have the fan inside to help the heat to be transferred to the outside. And also dual protection on the battery circuit with fuse and breaker. So those are for the safety and the reliability. And another is the device should be look very good, like beautiful. And you will see there is a front interface design with the blue LED with different icons there. So one is the battery SOC, and the second is showing the working status. So whether it's normal operation or alarm or it's a warning or something like that. And then communication status. So it will show either you are Wi-Fi connected, is the Wi-Fi connection normal, and also it has a very concise appearance. So it's very simple and easy to understand. For typical using scenario, so this is how the system should be connected. So the top part is the inverter and the bottom part is the battery, and you have PV connected and also backup loads connected with a bypass switch inside. And on the AC side, you have the AC grade load, and you use a smart meter like a normal hybrid inverter to monitor the output of the system. And also you can do the remote monitoring through the Solis Cloud. And so the typical scenario, so if you have a very big house with very large consumption, so you may use a 6 kilowatt model with the 20 kilowatt hours of the battery. You may install in a garage, and then there are some simple calculations. So you can use the self-use logic, which is the PV will support the load first, and then it will store into the battery, and the last is to send to the export to the grid. And for a small house, or you want to do self-use logic, so you can have the 5 kilowatt with 10 kilowatt hours of battery as well, and use the self-use logic to like support loads or charge the battery. And if you have some for emergency use, so you may want to keep the battery at a very high percent to use during the grid failure. So you can select the backup mode and then set the battery SOC to be reserved at 80%. So the battery will always keep the SOC at 80%, and only during the blackout it will use the 80% of the battery to support the load. And another is grid feed-in priority. So if locally you have some subsidy on like exporting to the grid, so you may use this grid feed-in priority mode. I guess in Australia we don't need that, but maybe in other countries we have this subsidy, then we can do this. So the priority will be support the load first, and then export to the grid as much as possible. And the last priority is to charge the battery. Yeah, these are some simple explanations for the modes in the inverter. Well, we will have some detailed explanations in the manual and in the future, and so we'll just skip this. There are some product details. So this is about the LED lights on the inverter. So the first one is a battery status LED. So it will show the batteries charge and discharging. You can see through the icon, and then it will have the system status LED. So the blue means it's running, and yellow means that there are alarm. If it's a flashing red light, it's a fault there. And the communication status, so you can have Wi-Fi or Internet, or and Wi-Fi you have the signal strength showing there. So you can have 1 or 2 or 3 lines for the signal strength, and also the Bluetooth status will show here. Another is the switch zone. So you have on the side of the inverter, you will have a like a distribution panel there with a DC switch, grid AC breaker, battery breaker, and backup breaker, and also the bypass switch there. So you can do all the control, all the operation there by simply like switch on, off, or the switch. So all the breakers have the IP67 cover. There's cover for that to ensure the reliability. And on the bottom of the switch zone, the wiring zone. Wiring zone is for the PV cable connection and also meter connection and DRM if necessary. So all those COM cables should be run through here. And after the wiring, we can have this a cover there to be installed, and then to protect the cables from the outside, and also it can keep a good looking structure for the device. Okay, the next part is about the internal training part. So those information will not be normally shared to a customer. Okay, so this is the dimension and the weight. So you can see this is the top and the bottom part battery expansion box together, 58.3 kilograms. And then if you only install the top part, it's a 46 kilogram, and the expansion box is 12.3 kilograms, and also dimension there. And this is a standard and also the optional options that you can order. Okay, so option you can Wi-Fi data logger and also the Ethernet data logger. And for the standard parts, so all the DC switch, bypass switch, AC breaker, battery fuse, backup breaker, cable, communication cable, Bluetooth function, they are all standard. And also together with the meter, meter is standard Anchorage single phase meter, and those are all standard functions and options. And if you need maybe MID certificates in some European countries, in Italy, then the meter can be switched to E-Strong meter. So it's E-Strong meter, SDM single phase meter, I think. And the functionality. So this is the overview of the device. So the top part is the switch zone, and this is a wiring part. And there's a handler at the bottom, and also there are ventilation masks at the bottom as well, and foot base to help the device to stand on the ground. And there is also a silver logo of Solis. And on the front, there's a LED ribbon to show the status. And also on the right side, you have 2 ventilation masks and a handler. Okay, this is the detailed view of the switch zone. So here, this one is a backup load bypass switch. So if it's switched to 0, so it means that it's off. And then you can switch to bypass or switch to inverter. And PV switch on off, and also the breakers for the battery backup and gray side. And this is a cable connection area. So it has two MPPT, 2 string of PV, and then there's a Ethernet for the local Wi-Fi connection, and then there's a meter port for the meter connection, and DRM, and also another COM port for the maybe Wi-Fi stick or GPRS stick. And on the AC side, the backup port and the grid port. And there are some like installation requirements. So because it's IP54, it's not like generally IP65. So if you use it for outdoor installation, you might install it against the wall, and also you need a shade at the top to avoid the raining and the direct sunshine. And also we will have some back plate to help you to fix the device to the wall, onto the wall. This is how to install the unit. So first one, you fix the back plate to the wall, and then to fix the inverting units to the back plate. And then you can open the front cover. So there are 4 screws on 2 top, 2 bottom. Open the front cover, and then just to move the battery into the cover and connect all the cables. Fix the batteries first, fasten the battery installation, and then connect the battery cable, CAN cable, and also the grounding cable. And then you close the cover, front cover for the whole inverter. And then you connect all the cables, the PV cables or meter communication cables, and then use those switches to turn on the device. And turn the mode switch to 2. This is the bypass switch previously we saw. So turn to mode 2, and then close other switches, and then the LED lights will be lit. And then you use the Solis Cloud to do the local connection through Bluetooth, and then you are able to read the status of the inverter and also change the settings for the inverter. These are some logics for the working mode. So if you are interested, we can talk about later. So backup SOC, backup mode is to keep a battery at a higher percentage of SOC and only use during the grid failure. And grid priority is to export, take the export into the grid as the first priority. And off grid means the off grid mode. And self use is the normal, maximize the self consumption rate. And under each mode, you may set the maybe backup SOC, and also you can set the time period, time of use period. So currently we are because previously the time of use can only set 1 set of time, but now we are developing to add 2 more. So you can set 3 pairs of charge and discharging time. to help customers to do a more flexible design on the control. And you can also set if your system allow to charge the battery from the grid, because some countries may not allow that. But in Australia, I think it is okay, so you can turn that on. Self-use is the same. You have 3 periods for the time of use, and also you can set if you allow to charge the battery from grid. Okay, so this is the appearance comparison with other competitors, so that you can see. This is Sonnen, 0.9 meters for 5 kilowatt, and our top parts of the unit, which is Solis Flexi MIDI. So it's 1.1 meters and can support 10 kilowatt hours of battery. And then the next one is 1.7 meters with 20 kilowatt hours, which is both top and bottom parts adding together. And then Goodway's unit support 9.8 kilowatt hours with 2 meters of the height. And Solex is 2.1 meters and only support 6.6 kilowatt hours. So you can see we have the very high energy density within a very small cover. And for the easy installation, so we can do installation very fast, like 15 minutes for 10 kilowatt hours, and we can do ground standing. So for the 21 hours of capacity, we just need to add another battery expansion box. And for Sonnen, so their cable connections are on the top, and they do not support any outdoor installation, because the rain may go inside through the ports. They only do IP30. And for the Solex, and Goodway, they use a power-up installation. So they just stack all those units together, and you need to do the wiring of the cable like for a very long time. And for Goodway, they need to do the fastening for each box. And here is the interface. So we use no LCD design with only 4 LED lights. And Solex, they have the 2-row LCD screen, like small screen. And also their LCD screen is located very high, so it's not very convenient to see that. And Goodway, they have some status light. And Sonnen, they have nothing, so only a circle light. Very difficult to understand what that means. And this is some PV data comparison. I think it's pretty much the same. Maybe we are better on the current. So on the current input current, we are better. We are 50 amp to support the large modules. And for the battery side, we have a relatively higher battery charge discharge power, up to 5 kilowatt, better than them. And this is our plan for releasing the product. So our plan is in end of June to be released to Australia and New Zealand for this all-in-one hybrid device. And for other countries, it's in the plan as well. Okay, that's for all the presentation. So we can discuss any questions if you have. Anyone want to say anything? I don't know how to do this. So you, let me check. Wait. So you guys cannot talk? Do I need to open some?
I can talk. So I can.
I know you can. Okay. Somehow I mute all of you guys. So Avi, maybe you can talk now.
Yes. Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
We can talk.
Hi.
Peter, can you talk now?
Sorry.
Can you please check if Peter can speak? Have you allowed him to speak?
Now he can. I think he can now.
Yeah, we'll check again.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, so that was really good. Good presentation, and it looks really good.
Yep.
We do have a couple of questions. I mean, you covered it all, but just a few small questions. AFCI is ARC. What was the AFCI function?
Arc fault detection and protection.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. And those weights of the unit is without the battery, correct?
Let me check.
Yeah.
朱光啊，你那个重量是不包含电池的吧？只是外壳的。
不包含的。
Yeah. So it's just the inverter and the cover, not the battery.
Oh, there.
Yeah. Let me check.
我还记得我们比亚迪不匹配的，你一直说比亚迪。
Okay. And BYD is not compatible currently. So just those batteries listed there.
And I also checked where you showed the battery extension. So the LG Chem battery can only be done up to 10 kilowatts?
Yeah, let me check.
Yep.
只有10的。
Yeah. So only 10 kilowatt for LG.
Yeah. So it can be extended. Okay.
Nothing.
Even in this, you can't have.
The wiring boxes on the side. How does that hide the wiring?
Or you mean the expansion box? How to wire that?
No, on the side of the unit, you're indicating that you've got covers for the wiring, but how does it cover the wiring as it comes from the building? So
you mean
you have to have conduit coming to the unit. How does send me a picture of a unit with wiring attached?
you mean on the side of the inverter?
That's
Yep.
correct.
Can you show the connection box? Yeah.
So it should be like this.
Yeah, you're showing me a picture without any wires.
Yeah, here. So wires here.
Yeah, so
You see?
we have wires hanging out the side of the box. Is that right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not right. Doesn't look good.
But that's why we have the cover for that. So we have a cover to let me check. We have a cover there, so you can use this cover to maybe hide those wirings.
And the cables are not pinched when you close the cover? Or would it be up till that? There will be a gap. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe not fully down to that side.
So we mean we concern about the cover connecting top and the bottom. So the cable will be exposed to the air, even you have a cover on the side. That's our concern, Jiduo. So can you confirm? So the connecting cable going through from the top to the bottom. So there will be some cable like exposed to the air. Nothing cover the cable.
It's not cable coming from top to the bottom. It's from bottom to the
Side.
top.
Oh, okay. They are just connected outside the cabinet, so you can see the cable. It's like visible, and it's they exposed to the air. I mean,
But for any device, you will have a wire like outside of the cover, right?
Yes, but if you design it well, they'll look tidy. The way you've got it, it's going to be a half a dozen bits of wire coming in the side there, and no way of making it tidy.
对，如果他们说就是这个接线这里可能线会比较乱，就有没有什么我在想，比如说拿什么卡扣啊固定一下啊之类的这种。
就你可以看其他家的更乱呐、我们这样已经算是比较漂亮的。
就是
卡
可能是不
扣的话，我们
是有那种
会在
塑料的粘上去的那种卡扣，然后给它固定一下啊这种。
会在这个面框的左下角，看看到时候能不能设计一个类似卡槽一样的东西，把线往里面卡进去吧。就是面框的右下角的地方。
底下这一排嘛，我觉得
就这里
就是那里各个
对对对，
线这样。
就你这里到时候。
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear.
Yeah. So if you think of the way Fronius does their wiring box at the bottom of their inverters, for example, that all the cables come into that box and are concealed. All the connections are concealed. In some cases, people bring the cables out of the wall cavity into those wiring boxes. So externally, all you see is the box, and all the cabling and connections are concealed inside the unit. That's what installers and regulators find attractive. What you're suggesting there is going to be very untidy, and a whole lot of wires that have to be brought to the unit, and it's just going to look complex and messy on the side. You need to have a think about it.
Yeah. So we are considering to have some kind of maybe some slot to be added there, and then the cables can go down and then go through those slots and then go to outside. Maybe that can make it tidy.
Usually in Australia, it's a requirement that conduit is used to protect the cables.
Conduit.
Yeah, you know, plastic pipe.
Okay.
All right. So finding a way to deliver the cables to the unit and to have all your connections concealed is what is going to be attractive to people. They don't want to see cables being delivered to the box.
So, but what they do for our current RHI hybrid inverter in Australia? It's pretty much the same. We have the connectors at the bottom and without any others.
And they have to run conduit along the wall, and the cables come out of the conduit, and the connectors are on the bottom of go into the bottom. Installers don't like it, but that's the way it's done.
Yeah.
hidden cables inside a wiring box. And I use Fronius as an example because they're very popular because of that.
对，主管他们觉得就是澳洲那边的话，他们可能现在是会有一个穿管的，就是他们的线的话会穿管子过来，然后再到那边去打。
The reason I raise it is your box looks very nice until you deliver the cables.
我现在开了吗？
We will try to connect all the cables and see how it looks like.
就是澳洲有一个安规，它所有的线不能裸在外面，一定要套管的，或者就要跟电工说要用那种防紫外线的工业线。这个电工要符合验收标准的话，就是我们这种 Peter 说的，就是不符合澳洲安规的安装标准，或者电工就觉得要买那种工业线。
现场图有没有现场的一些安装可以看一下呢？对啊，就那种。
可以，我找找看吧。我因为有客户跟我发过一些。
它这个问题应该是这样的，就是它穿管的话，那你这个，而且你这个是在侧面接线，那你怎么插到墙上去？我在想，它插到墙上的时候就会拐。
是啊，对，这总归有一段互套线。所以澳洲你们这种设计方法，澳洲唯一的方法就是他买那种工业线，就是带防紫外线、抗紫外线老化的那种工业线，就可以裸露在空气里面了。但是这种线就成本比较高，电工可能会吐槽。Peter 是这个方面的意思。
那比如说其他家的机器，他们的接线也是在侧边的呀，那他怎么穿管呢？
你不能，哎呀，这个就不讨论别人了，我只是传达 Peter 的就是本地化的，我们本地化的这个意见，就是我们就不扯别的了，他的意见就是这个，确实是有一个槽点，就是如果你能改进的话就更好，或想想办法。
也不好改进啊，这个已经在侧面了。
那就先拿点
就先这样吧，记下来吧。
对，
先记下来吧。
你换位置是不可能的。
你最多你就记下来吧。
我可以记下来，但是你们要给我一些现场的图。
对，需要找看澳洲那边，比如说顾德威他们怎么安装的，看能不能找到。
电工呢，就是装的时候呢，有些电工还是很垃圾的啦，就是装的很不正规。但是呢，就是按照正规路子来说呢，裸露在空气里面的必须要用防紫外线老化的线，或者是穿管。不允许用普通线在外面这样晃来晃去的，会用卡扣什么都不可以。
可以提供一些穿管的现场图嘛，现场施工图嘛，跟研发讨论一下。
我问一下 Peter 吧。Okay, so Peter, about the wiring connection. So as we know, Goodway and Solex, they also have the cable connection on the side. So maybe could you please provide us some pictures if possible, like how they do the cable connection outside, so how the conduit wiring.
So you guys need to listen to me carefully on this. Goodway, Solax, and such like, and are not the people you want to follow, right? They're not at the pointy end of good things. So what I would do in the way of design is provide an entry point from the rear of the unit that allows you to have a conduit come through a gland at the back for whatever number of cables. It could be a cover that's a right angle cover, so it wraps around the back, but lets them deliver their cable through the back edge of the unit, so that the unit looks like it's just standing there without cables all over the side of it, because the cables have to be secured.
So you're suggesting that we add a wiring box on the side and then to change the cable's angle, to the
No,
back
just
of the.
change your access to the cables so that it is so it wraps around from. If you think of, instead of just having the access cover on the side only, if the access cover wrapped around to the back and was secured to the side, you could put your cables in from the rear, connect them, and screw down your cover plate. I'll try and draw you a diagram.
对吧？他那个意思我大概明白了，应该是想弄个就是把那个弄个类似于转接盒的东西，然后把那
对啊，
个线
装在那个边上。
对，就可能把线从朝下的这个方向给它改到朝后的方向去，就贴着墙，然后装走线就好了。
啊，基多，我发了那个，我发了一个那个澳洲的安装的视图，你看一下群里面。你再拿那个图讲应该更清楚一点。是这个意思，他们走线，对他们就是都要套管子的。你如果放在边上，可能它走线不好走。他们都套管的啦。
The image that you've just put on the screen with the yeah, so see how everything's connected with conduit, whether it be flexible conduit or rigid conduit, everything has to be secured in conduit. For a residential property, most good installers would conceal all that cabling within wall cavity and only deliver it to the equipment at the shortest possible distance. So for the battery, you'd have most of your cables coming down the wall cavity and connected into a wiring box as you've got, but the access to your wiring box is what you need to change a little bit. And then the wires would be concealed instead of, as it is at the moment, they would potentially be putting screwing conduit to the side of the cabinet. It'd look terrible.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying there?
Yeah. Okay. 所以朱工，那你考虑一下怎么把它转一下方向。
我没看到你们的图。你发个图给我看一下。
对，你能看到共享屏幕吗？
我能啊，我屏幕一直是卡着的，都动不了的。那么你微信发我。
我转给朱工嘛。
转给我吧，你屏很卡的我这里。但基本上是动不了的嘞。
不是他的意思，我是想的就是，比如说你加个那种可以外接的盒子，然后把那个线的方向往后转到朝后，这样不就可以了吗？朝墙那个方向。
它这个灰色的就是个管子呀，对不对？
对，他们所有外露的线都，P 的意思说，他所有的管子都是钉在墙上的，都套管的，然后所有都是横平竖直的啦。他就是这个意思了。
就
很难走线。
如果再往墙上走线的话，就可能要拐一下嘛，拐一下那个线就掉在那儿了。
拐一下不就好了吗？那你看，
那
我们现在的那个示意图，接线不都在底部吗？底部它不是也是拐一下的？你看我们底部接线，它不是也是歪了一下这样接的吗？
是墙，这是这个拐是没问题啊，但是你那边是侧面啊，你侧面就会存在多个管子，这样都拐一下，然后全都挤在那儿了。
这个我想一下吧，想想， 你要改有点难。啊，我记下这一点了，待会儿就去跟研发讨论讨论。侧边拐过来。
Okay, Peter, we will discuss with our structural engineer and to come up with a solution on the cable running.
I'll draw you a diagram in the morning, Jitto, and send it through so that they've got a clear idea of what I'm talking about. But it would make a big difference to the customer and the installer perception about the quality of the product if you do that.
Okay.
It shouldn't cost any more. Okay.
Okay. Any other topics we want to discuss?
I have a question about the battery mounting basket. So if the customer would like to go with the other battery brand, so do we have like a compatible battery mounting basket for other brand, so we can mount the battery inside?
No, I think 有的吗？你不同
什么东西啊？
电池里
要匹配其他电池是吗？
其他电池的话，就你那个里面装的怎么装的话，能匹配吗？也
架子能不能？
你先确认尺寸啊，确认尺寸能装得进的话，然后销售这边提需求过来，我们重新做协议匹配。
只需要协议匹配吗？不需要结构的匹配吗？就你那里面电池是怎么装的？它是有挂电池的那个支架吗？
挂架吗？挂架还是怎样的？
不太清楚里面长什么样子。这个再看吧。
那就留下来吧，留着吧，以后再回答吧。
If there are any like new battery to be compatible, want to be compatible, maybe we will send to RD for review. So both structural review and also the software compatibility review. Okay, so currently those batteries are fine, like 6 model battery.
我的意思是，你们这些已匹配的这些电池，上架的话就不需要，就直接放上去，架子上它是有这个架子直接螺丝拧上就可以了吗？还是就扔在里面的，还是咋样的？就已匹配的这些，派能啊、LG 啊这种。
朱工，你知道吗？里面是怎么装的？电池那里面我没见过哎。怎么固定 ？Yeah.
Do you have any example of how the setup would look like from Solis Cloud for these systems?
You mean the Bluetooth connection?
Yes. How to do the install setup? Maybe you can share it later at some point. How to set it up?
Yeah. Do you have the app currently?
Solis Home? Solis Cloud? Yeah.
No, it's a Solis Cloud. Actually, Solis Cloud is not
it's not available.
Not available. Yeah. So we can discuss once the Solis Cloud is released in Australia, and then we will show how to use the app to do that.
Okay. Sure. No worries.
没有回答我刚才的问题啊，就是
电池那个下来我们再去看看吧，我们到时候弄个视频啊之类的。
好。
Any other questions about this?
Right now there's no more. It's all good. It looks good. Hopefully it'll be easy for the installer, so it'll be easy for us. So it's all good.
Okay, so that'll be the presentation and the training. So for any other questions, we can also discuss in emails. You can send through emails as well.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, once you maybe at a later point when you share us how to set up, install operating, what are the options in the inverter menus and everything. Maybe that we can have more questions.
Okay. The menu for this hybrid is not ready yet, but we will prepare soon. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys
Yep.
for attending this presentation.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye bye.
基洛，我发给你的，你看到了吗？
啊，你发我啥了？
对，刚才那位是谁呀？我没听出声音。
Reno 呢？
同事讲中文的。
做售后那边的。
哦，他退了吗？因为我还是不是特别明白，就是这个走线的东西啊。你发文章图啊，那些机器的底部不也是这么转弯过来的吗？那我们这样转弯不能转吗？我就很困惑。
他的意思是这样，就是，你这个不是你能看到我屏幕吧？
啊，我看得到。
操，怎么这么卡？好吧，就是你那个它底部走线，然后直接往墙上走嘛，你只需要往下稍微压一下，然后全都可以固定在墙上了，对吧？
它往墙上走，然后走到那个机器的下面，对不对？然后稍微这样斜过来一点，就可以跟端子接了。喂，你卡住了。
啊，我能听到，就是但是你那个机器的接线是全部在侧面的嘛，对吧？
侧边，那它可以把走线一直走到那个侧边的窗口边上啊，然后这样弯过去接，这样不行吗？
啊，你转角的那个地方没法固定，就是你需要从比如说它横着走到了墙上，对吧？墙上，然后你要转一下，转90度到你的那个侧边，然后再转90度往上走去接线，然后你再转的那一下，那个角上你没办法给它固定在那个机器外壳上呀。
就是他们的意思就是只要是转角就必须得固定嘛，因为这个空间就很短呐。
对啊，你如果不固定的话，那个角就会松的呀，就是晃来晃去的，而且里面有多股线全部挤在那个角上，就可能会就很难看，他的意思是。
那比如说他们发的那张示意图，它一个管子里面走多少条线啊？我看最右边那台机器，它也就是接一个 AC 输出啊，不就是接3根线吗？
那个机器是我们的并网机。哎操！
对呀。你
卡
死了。
我卡了，就是你的，比如说你的看线要走一根，哦不是看线，你的电表的线要走一根，你的 PV 的线要走一股，然后你的 backup 的要走一根 ，grid 的要走一根，你想4根那个窗管全部挤在那一个角上，而且相当于你那个盖子，你往下滑的那个盖子其实没有用，感觉。如果说你穿管的话，你那个盖子挡一挡，感觉也挡不住啥。
想一下。
李哥，你可以就是群发了一张新的，就是那个 Ronald， 李哥能听到我声音吗？
啊，可以，我有点卡，我微信崩掉了。
对，我发一个新的在那个群里，我发我们那个3个人那个群里，这是那个 Solis Edge 的一个装法，就是它其实就是蛮标准化的一个一体机啊，或者是什么这样的装的方式。就是它是要那个就是对，它是下面接口的话，而且它就是等于单独。其实我们现在主要问题不是说要接管比较难接，是因为我们所有的管子都是因为有 PV 是从屋顶下来的一根线，然后到下面的那个 AC 或者下面的那个 backup 是到电网的线，它所以等于是有3根软管在那个位置的话，就是会很难操作了。
它的那个还有我看它3根软管，一根是 PV 的，还有2根，一根是市电的，还有一根是什么呀 ？backup 的，还是通讯的，还是什么的？
这个我就不确定，但是它肯定是有一个 backup 因为 backup 肯定要有一线嘛，然后市电一根线，然后通讯再一根线，然后 PV
backup 跟那个市电是分开来的咯，不能走在同一根管子里，然后到底部给它岔开来吗？不行。
要分开的。
要分开的。
backup 和市电肯定。
那像那个呢？ 那像那个呢？那像就比如说 PV 的，我们有4个端子的线要接，对吧？那我到那个底部的时候，它一根软管过来怎么办呢？然后从软管里面跑出4根线，然后这样对接一下，这样搞吗
PV 好像是可以穿到一起的。
PV 是可以穿到一起的，因为 AC 的话会影响它是有频率嘛，会影响它们是穿在一起的话，会影响它那个电流走向，应该可以就这么说吧，应该说是。所以的话就是 然后 DC 和 AC 又直接要分开。
就是很多根管子都会在那个转角的地方挤在一起，然后就会很难。
那个管子是标准件吗？就是有多少直径这样子的，多少 phi 这样子的？
应该是根据你有穿多少股线，怎么，然后肯定有不同规格的，应该是。
让我想一下，哎，那像那些通讯的呢？通讯的他们就也需要管吗？还是只要电器的穿管就可以了？
通信好像也要的。之前我看过 EPM 他们穿管的也是有一个管子穿485的。
那就是说至少要有4根管子，一根 PV， 一根 backup， 一个 AC， 然后剩下的都是走通讯的。这样搞，因为我肯定要接电表，我有电表通讯线嘛。如果他们还要用 DRM 的话，那还有 DRM 的。我去跟研发商量一下吧。他们除了这一个点，还有其他点吗？好像也没听到什么。
还有就是售后那边想了解一下内部那个电池怎么放的。
电池怎么放？我不是发给你了吗？你这样可以理解吗？你把那个图打开嘛。
我看一下。
我们就一个空腔嘛，比如说派能的电池啊，然后 Dynas 的电池啊，你就这样竖着给它这样拎进去，放在地上，它承重就是机柜的那个地面的，然后它内部有一根那个松紧带，就是魔术贴，然后你把它围过来，这样子给它捆紧它就好了，是这样固定的。
哎，我在想，你那个它电池跟地面实际被你那个支架给支起来的吧？你底下这个承受得住吗？
受得住啊，当然受得住，我受得住啊，这肯定受得住。
反正就是直接放进去的，对吧？根本也没有什么不同，
没有什么板子、隔板、支架这种东西，就直接把这个电池，它的承重就是我这个机柜的那个底部放着就可以。
哎，主管，那话说就是，比如说现在下面那个电池，它要跟那边气的连线是要怎么走啊？
就上柜跟下柜，它们中间有个孔洞的穿孔嘛。
穿孔是吧？
对，有孔的。
那你上面这个线够长吗？预留的线
够长的，我们都已经那个过了，算过了。那个叫什么？跟各个电池之间的配线图，我也可以发给你们，你看一下就知道。等一下啊，我想一下发给谁了。
说明书里体现一下或者怎么。
昨天画了一个。等一下。就去多看一下，这样好理解吗？这是个草图。看到吗？发给售后怎么称呼啊？哪位同事？Reno 嘛，叫。说可以加个联系方式。你可以给他看一下，底部有孔洞的，我们可以穿过去。然后我们这边除了 LG 电池，其他目前匹配的电池，他们都自带那个动力线跟通讯线的，然后我们都算过长度了，都是够的。 然后 LG 的话本身就只能装在上机柜上面，我们会送一套线，这套线是标配的。
行，好吧，先这样吧，我先关了。啊？
哦，那我把那个图能再也发我一下吗？
啊，行，好。
然后 PPT 不要外发 ，PPT 不是最终版的。
我知道，我都没发它，不发它。
对，没有。
然后有问题的话直接来找我好了。然后你们刚刚说的那个管子的事情，我跟研发确认一下啊。咱们先这样。
好嘞，好的。
辛苦你啦，拜拜。
拜拜。
这会怎么关啊？你们知道这个怎么关吗？
第一次用这个，我下载这个都搞好久。
下次不要用 Go Webinar，Go to Webinar 它其实不好。
啊，我觉得太不友好了。行，好了，拜拜。
拜拜。